Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about acne. If you're not new here, hi, my name's Jamie. I have adult acne. It has been quite a journey. So I thought I would make this video for those of you who may be dealing with the same thing. I started dealing with acne, I think I was in grade 7 when I started with the adolescent acne, and that was just awful. I sort of went through that phase a couple of years before most of the other kids in my age were going through it. I had really severe acne, particularly on my forehead at that time. I also had very, very dry skin at that time. So the way it sort of went for me was I went through like the adolescent acne period from about grade 7 till about, I want to say grade 9 or so, and my skin started clearing up. Then I went to aesthetic school. And when you're an esthetician in training, you have to practice, and so therefore you practice on one another, which sounds super great until you're getting like 4 facials a week. And that was when my adult acne sort of kicked in. At that point in time, my skin just started going nuts. Probably had more to do with the fact that it was just having too much stimulation as we were practicing facials on one another, putting all these different products on our skin all of a sudden, stuff like that. So it sort of started there, and as I've aged, it got worse and worse and worse. And by the time I met my husband about 10 years ago, I was dealing with severe cystic acne. So I didn't necessarily have a face full of acne, but the ones that I had were very painful, very large, and very deep beneath the skin. And I would get them in clusters. So generally I would get them sort of around my mouth, on the chin area, that sort of thing. Nothing on the forehead at all. That was like exclusively something I dealt with in the adolescent acne. As an adult, it's generally been around my mouth, on my cheeks, that sort of thing, which can generally be linked to diet and hormones. Those are often the things that are going to sort of trigger an acne situation for myself and for a lot of other adults that deal with acne. So over the years, I have found a number of things that have really worked well for me. I've gotten my acne to a stage where it's very controllable. And when I do have a breakout, I can usually pinpoint exactly what I did wrong or what I should have done differently, or what I had that I shouldn't have had that triggered the breakout. So the biggest thing for me was diet. I always knew that I had a dairy allergy. I just didn't necessarily know what the symptoms of that allergy was. I have asthma, and I always knew that a dairy allergy is like a mucus building allergy, so I had a lot more of that sort of rattle in my chest if I'd eaten, say, ice cream or something like that. But I definitely was somebody who loved cheese, loved frappuccinos, loved all of the dairy things. And I did a whole video about how I gave up dairy and this is what happened. I'll link that below. It's quite old. But in my journey of trying to figure out some digestive issues that I was having, my doctor suggested that I try giving up dairy. And while it didn't fix my digestive issues, I noticed immediately a difference in my skin. So that was a big part of my journey. Certainly was giving up dairy. It'll be 2 years in March, I think, since I've had any dairy. So that was a big part of it. So I definitely encourage you, if you are somebody who deals with adult acne, to look into different foods that may trigger that. Sugars, dairy, wheat can be a big one for a lot of people. So definitely that's something to look into and to talk to your doctor about. But what I want to talk to you guys about today are some products and practices that have also made a big difference in my acne. So since I gave up dairy, I certainly am getting a lot less of the big cystic blemishes. I do still have a very acne prone skin, and if I don't do like the right things, it's a very slippery slope back to where I was before. So let's dive into these amazing things that I'm going to share with you. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is double cleansing. So if you're somebody who doesn't wear any makeup at all, this is not this doesn't apply to you. So if you're somebody like me who wears a lot of makeup, this is for you, okay? So double cleansing is something that I obviously learned in school to do when we're doing facials. So we would always go in and pre-cleanse with a makeup remover of some kind and then go in with a cleanser. Why it never occurred to me in my real life that that's something I should be doing on a daily basis, I don't know until I started doing it. So I highly recommend, if you do wear makeup, to try a double cleansing routine. So there's a couple of different things, there's quite a few different things that you could use to do that. You could use an oil-based remover if that's something that you like, particularly if you have dry skin, that would be a great option. I also really like cleansing balms. So these are basically like a solid. You can see in there, these are a solid, and when you emulsify it between your hands, it turns into an oil. You apply it all over your face and then you rinse it off. So I really like using a cleansing balm as opposed to an oil. I just find it a little less messy to work with, and I like to remove it either just with water or I use my reusable rounds. I buy these on Amazon. I think I bought a pack of 16 for $10. I like these, something like this, as opposed to like a makeup remover wipe, because that's obviously quite wasteful, but also because a lot of makeup remover wipes have drying ingredients in them. So I like something like this together, works very well and doesn't dry the skin out. Another product that you could use for double cleansing is a micellar water. This one is by No. 7. I'm really enjoying this one. Micellar water is really nice, especially if you have sensitive skin. I usually just wet one of my reusable rounds and then apply some of the micellar water to the round and just move it all over your face, remove your makeup with it. So what I personally like to do is do the cleansing balm all over my face, and then I use the micellar water to remove my eye makeup. Or if I don't have a lot of makeup on that day, I might just use the micellar water. The balm works really well if you have a heavy layer of like full coverage makeup on. So then after you finished with one of these two products to pre-cleanse with, you would go in with your regular cleanser and do your normal skincare routine. So definitely something to think about if you're not double cleansing. You might find that that makes a big difference. Just removing all of the makeup off of your face first, then your cleanser is able to go in and sort of do its job. It's not just taking your makeup off now, it's actually cleansing your skin, cleansing your pores, which is something that you really need if you're dealing with adult acne. Another really important thing to do if you have acne of any type is exfoliate. Now, I have personally always found that aggressive manual exfoliants such as scrubs or like a gommage, something like that, I actually find makes my acne worse. It's almost like it moves it around. So especially if I have like an active breakout happening, I really don't like to go in with a scrub. I find it just makes things worse. So I have found using something like an AHA exfoliant really makes a difference for me. And I have a couple of options here of ones that I use regularly. The first one is the Quintessence Multi-Fruit Peel Cleanser. So this one here is a cleanser, but it's also an exfoliant. So you kind of do an all-in-one step. So the way that I like to use this is after I've pre-cleansed with one of these products that I mentioned previously, I pump a couple of pumps of this foam onto my hands, rub it between my hands, apply it all over my face, and leave it for 5 minutes. Then I rinse it off. So it really has a chance to sort of go into the pores and cleanse the area. So this is a multi-fruit peel cleanser. That means it contains AHAs. So that's it's an alpha hydroxy acid. So it comes from fruits. So that's something that really has made a big difference for me. Now this one is a little bit more of a process because it's a cleanser. You have to leave it on for 5 minutes, so on and so forth. If I'm not feeling like I want to do this whole process, I'll go in with something like this. So this is the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow Serum, and this is an AHA Resurfacing Night Serum. So this is one that you would apply all over your skin and leave it on. So this is like my lazy exfoliant, and this is my extra exfoliant. So I try to do this one once a week or so. I did a whole video called my weekly skincare routine. I'll link that in the description box below, but this is the product that I used in that. This one I try to use every couple of days, maybe every 2 or 3 days. If I'm having a breakout, I might use it every night for a couple of days. And they do very similar things. They're both AHA products. So I really am liking this one as well. So very important that you take the time to exfoliate your skin. Don't over exfoliate your skin. Every night of the week is too often. No more than every other night. As I said, if I'm going through like a bad breakout, I might do 2 nights in a row, but then I'll definitely take a night or 2 off after that. But it is really important that you're taking the time to exfoliate. Number 1, you want to get those dead cells off of your face. You want to get those dead cells out of the pores. The AHAs will sort of eat away at the bacteria inside of the acne, if that makes sense. But they'll also prepare your skin for serums, moisturizers, things like that, so that those products can get deeper into your skin and really do the job. So that leads us into the next step, which is a serum. So one serum in particular that I have found to be very useful in dealing with the adult acne is a niacinamide serum. So this one is made by The Ordinary, and it's 10% niacinamide and 1% zinc. It's very inexpensive. I think I bought this, oh my gosh, focus. I think I bought this for around $10 through Sephora, and it says right on it, high strength vitamin and mineral blemish formula. So niacinamide and zinc together will help to work to fade acne scars, but also deal with some of the inflammation that comes with the acne. So when you have, especially when you have active blemishes happening, there's a lot of swelling, a lot of redness, a lot of discoloration, all of that goes hand in hand. And after that comes the acne scarring. So this product sort of works to target both of those things. I do notice when I'm using this that I don't stay as red and puffy. I have noticed a significant change in the visibility of my acne scars from previous years. I think a product like this can be very, very useful. I do specifically when I'm looking at buying new products, if I see niacinamide in something, I'm like, yes, I love that ingredient. It's a very good ingredient for acne prone skin. So definitely something to look for. But this product in particular has worked very well for me. And then it is very important that you stay hydrated. So a lot of times with acne comes excess oils, and when you have an oily skin, oftentimes you don't want to put more oils on your skin because you wash your face of all of that stuff and you're like, oh, finally it feels clean. But it's still important to stay hydrated. And if you have adult acne, you don't necessarily have oily skin. It's very common to have dry skin with that condition. So a couple of products that are really important obviously is a good moisturizer. So the one that I'm using right now is the IT Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. I really like this one. I just find it kind of does everything in terms of moisture, anti-aging, all of those nice things. It's a nice big jar, doesn't break me out. It's heavy without being too heavy, so I find it perfect for this time of year. But any moisturizer will do. Just make sure that you're buying something that has good ingredients in it. You don't have to spend $100, but I definitely recommend spending more than $10. So look for a good moisturizer. If you guys need any help in terms of recommendations of products, always comment below, or you can find all of my socials in the description box below. I'm happy to help with those things, talk to you about your skin, about what you might need, make some recommendations, but definitely make sure that you're using a good moisturizer. And then I've recently discovered facial oils, and I think that this has made a very big difference in my skin. So this is from The Ordinary as well, and this is their 100% organic cold pressed rosehip seed oil. And rosehip seed oil specifically is very good for acne prone skin and has been proven to actually help fade the acne scars as well. And I haven't had any issues with this breaking me out. So what I like to do with a oil like this is I use it as like a finishing step to my skincare. So once I've got everything on, I've done my double cleanse, I've done my exfoliant, I've done my serum, I've done my moisturizer, and then I kind of seal everything in with the oil. And I find it really helps to just kind of lock all those nice ingredients in so that my skin can really utilize them. So I'm really enjoying that. Again, I think this was around $10 from Sephora. And then lastly for skincare, pimple patches. So I have talked about these a number of times on my channel. Over the years, I've tried every type of spot treatment out there, and I'm here to tell you they don't work. They don't. What I've found with like a benzoyl peroxide or a salicylic acid spot treatment, I've never found them to work the way that I want them to work, all I've found them to do is really dry out that area, thus making it harder to cover the blemish with makeup. So when you've got a dry, crusty scab on your face, no amount of foundation is going to cover that. It just doesn't work that way. These really changed the game for me. So what I like to do instead is do my regular skincare routine as I just kind of laid out for you guys. And then once everything is nicely absorbed into my skin, let's say I have a blemish right here, I'll pat it dry with like a piece of tissue, and then I'll apply one of these pimple patches on the blemish. I'll show you what they look like. And they just look like little circles. They're like little dots. They come in different sizes. So I'll peel one of these little circles off, place it on the blemish, wherever it is, and I go to bed. And when I get up in the morning, that little circle, you can tell it's all white, like it's absorbed all of the oils out of that blemish, and it's flatter, smoother, easier to cover with makeup because there's no scab or anything like that. And usually it heals up within a day or two. Like these have really changed the game for me. Even my husband uses these. He's like, where are those thingies? I have a... So these are great. They're not expensive. I get them on Amazon. I usually buy like a pack of like 5 for like 20 bucks or something like that. And there's 48 in each package. So they last me a very long time. And my husband's even used them on like spots where he had like a splinter in his finger, and he put the pimple patch over it overnight, and then he was able to get the splinter out no problem because it just draws everything to the surface. It's amazing. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is cosmetics for acne. So there's a lot of products out there. I don't know that you specifically need to use makeup that's for blemishes. However, there are a couple that I've found that I do really like, particularly from the e.l.f. brand. So they make this blemish control face primer. It has a little bit of salicylic acid in it, and it's just a nice primer. So this is one that I will use when I am breaking out, as opposed to using a really like pore filling primer or something like that. I'll go in with this one. It helps to sort of control the shine on my face, and I do feel like it helps the blemishes heal a little bit faster. They also make an acne control foundation that I really like. This is the color Buff, and I think it's a little bit dark for me, but I do really like the foundation. So I don't use this every day, but I will use this when I'm going through like a bad breakout. It again has a little bit of salicylic acid in it. So I do find that that helps to cover the blemishes, but also sort of dry them out throughout the day. Clinique also makes one like this, and Almay. So there's a few out there that have that salicylic acid ingredient in them, and I do find it does make a bit of a difference. So something to consider if you're dealing with this. If this is something you're dealing with a lot, it might be worth it too to look into a couple of those products. The biggest thing that I have found in terms of cosmetics is trying to eliminate talc out of my powders. So there's not a ton of powders out there that don't have talc in them, but I have found a few. All of the Physicians Formula ones have no talc in them. And then this one by Becca, this is the Hydra Mist. So this is the Becca Hydra Mist, looks like that. This is the one that has the glycerin in it, and it feels kind of wet when you put it on. But I really like this, and it doesn't contain talc. So talc is one of those ingredients that will really go in and clog your pores, especially if it's something you're putting on your face every day, like a powder. So definitely something to think about as well. If you're wearing makeup every day and you have an acne-prone skin, you may want to look into a talc-free powder to keep your pores nice and clear and help reduce the amount of acne that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis. So these are just a few tips and tricks, things that I have found over the years that have made a big difference in my skin. I do feel like I'm sort of coming out the other side of the acne journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If this is something that you deal with, I'm here to help. I'm happy to give you any advice that I can. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!